Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're here today to talk about why cruising in Alaska should be on your bucket list for 2021, and that's coming right around the corner. So I'd like to introduce myself. I'm the owner at Magic Cruises and Tours. My name is Patti Cash, and we have been located in downtown Worthington for the past 32 years. We started here in 1988. I know many of you out there probably know where we're located, right in the heart of downtown Worthington. We're nicely situated right there on the east side of the street, in between Grater's Ice Cream, peace-loving little donuts, and the pizza, Jet's Pizza. So come on over and visit us when you get a little hungry. We represent all of the different cruise lines that are out there, the different tour operators, all-inclusive vacations. So really, when you think vacation, we want you to think magic. And we will be your vacation people. We're here to help you in any ways that we can. But for today, I just would like to quickly introduce our great staff. We have a tremendous staff of very experienced counselors here at Magic, and it represents a lot of years of experience. But more importantly, for today's purposes, we are Alaska experts as well. And again, I say my name's Patti Cash, but for today's purposes only, you can know me as the girl with the bear behind. Get it? The girl with the bear behind. Ha ha ha. All right, we're humoring ourselves these days. So for the past 32 years, we love Alaska. We've been there a number of times ourselves. We send hundreds of people packing every single year. So literally thousands over the years. And for the 32nd year in a row, we are still endorsing and recommending Princess Cruises and Tours for the majority of our clients, because Princess does such a phenomenal job up in Alaska. They've been there for over 50 years. They're the dominant player. They come with a lot of extra amenities and benefits that you'll feel when you're on the vacation of a lifetime. And so with us today to talk about Alaska Cruises and Princess Alaska Cruises is another Alaska expert, and that's Miss Madeline Costa. Madeline, welcome.
Hi, good to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Patti. Yes, I do work for Princess Cruises directly, but I'm here to tell you Alaska is such a vast vacation area that you really do need to work with people who understand Alaska and who will be able to help you plan the best vacation possible. For 2021, Princess will have 8 ships in Alaska, so there are different cruise itineraries that you can sail. You can do a cruise which we call the Inside Passage cruise, which is a round-trip Seattle itinerary, but we also do what we call Voyage of the Glacier cruises, and these are northbound cruises or southbound cruises, and your experts at Magic Cruises can help you decide which is the best cruise vacation for you, what's the best time for you to go, because the itineraries go anywhere from mid-May through mid-September. So we have been quite honored to be the best cruise line in Alaska for 16 consecutive years. And that's really because our guests, as well as our travel agent partners, do say that, yeah, Princess does a great job up there. And it's because of the cruise itineraries, it's our North to Alaska programming, the seafood, the excursions. So there's a whole lot that goes into our being able to give you the best Alaska vacation cruise you can experience. So let's talk about the cruises a little bit further. As I said, there's a number of ships up in Alaska. Your Magic agent will be able to help you plan the best ship for your needs, whether you want a larger ship or a smaller ship, whether you want a ship that's got a lot of technology, a lot of entertainment options. Again, it's up to you to really make the best vacation you can for yourself, and your Magic agents will certainly help you with that. Then there's a number of different places that you sail from. When you look at an Inside Passage or a round-trip cruise, you can sail from Seattle. You can sail from San Francisco on a 10-day cruise. You can even sail on a 14-day cruise from Los Angeles. These are what we call round trips. So you start and end in the same port. Now, if you do a Voyage of the Glaciers cruise, you're going to start in either Vancouver and sail north to Whittier, which is the port for Anchorage, or you're going to start in Anchorage and then sail south to Vancouver. So these are one-way cruises, northbound or southbound. But many of these itineraries have the same ports of call.
So in general, I mean, that's a lot to choose from. 8 ships, number one, focus in Alaska for 2021 is tremendous. And I might also just add that because the 2020 season has been kind of curtailed with the COVID situation happening, there's a lot of pent up demand, Madeline. People are now really eager and they've been calling to book up for 2021. So now's a good time to be planning this.
Actually, it's a great time to plan. Yes, you're right.
We're going to walk through some of the ports of call that you will see on an Alaska cruise. And I also will add that the Alaska cruise itinerary is probably one of the number one itineraries in terms of satisfaction in the entire on the planet. So a lot of people will go to Alaska, you know, first time cruisers or repeat cruisers, you know, multiple times cruising to Alaska. So it's definitely one that's a sure bet. And so as we walk through these, we'll just kind of give you a little bit of tips on some of the things to do in the different ports as you approach them. We've got right now on the screen, Victoria, British Columbia. This is a stop on the round trip cruises. They make a stop there at Victoria. It's a little island off of the Vancouver area. It's beautiful, beautiful, little charming gemstone of a spot. There's a shot of Buchart Gardens. That's one of the optional tours that you can head out to Buchart Gardens. You can have high tea at the Empress Hotel. You can just truck around, and lots of neat eateries and cafes and pubs and stuff are all right around in walking distance from where the ship is parked.
And one of the highlights of a cruise vacation is experiencing the glaciers firsthand and up front. And so when you sail with Princess, every single cruise will offer at least 1 day of glacier viewing. Some cruises will actually offer you 2 days of glacier viewing. On our Inside Passage cruises, you will either visit Tracy Arm Fjord, where you can get a close-up shot of the Endicott Arm and Dawes Glacier, and some of the itineraries visit Glacier Bay National Park, which we'll talk a little bit more about as we get further into this presentation. But every single cruise does visit a glacier, and every single cruise does cruise through the Inside Passage. And I think this is one of the reasons why a lot of first timers go to Alaska, because this is a nice, calm cruise experience as you sail through the Inside Passage and just kind of awe of the beautiful scenery, the cliffs, the mountains, the waterfalls. It really is a comforting, just delightful day of enjoying nature as you're sailing through the Inside Passage.
You know, Madeline, it's a good point to make too. When you're cruising along the Inside Passage, oftentimes there is land on both sides of the ship. So little villages and stuff you'll cruise by, and there'll be a mountain over here. So, you know, when people say, well, what's the best side of the ship to be on? Really, you could go either way, because you're going to be within view of the land a good portion of the time when you're in the Inside Passage area. So that's quite an experience. Here's a little stop here. Ketchikan is always on most all of the itineraries. And I'd like to point out that when you sail with Princess, you actually will park. The ship will park there. It'll dock right outside of town right there. And that's a benefit. So a lot of the other cruise lines will do the ferries, the shuttles, the tenders, they call them. They'll anchor out in the bay, and then they'll run the tender boats around and around. Princess will actually park in these ports, so it's easy to just get off the ship and walk around. You're free to come and go at your leisure in the ports of call, or you can take advantage of any of the numerous shore excursions that are available. But Ketchikan is well known for being the salmon capital of Alaska. The picture there was Creek Street. That's kind of has a lot of fun history you'll learn about. There's, again, lots of shops and things you can browse through. But here's a great highlight of a tour that Madeline did most recently in Alaska, the Deadliest Catch.
Yeah, it really is. It's actually from the TV show, and they really talk about the hardships they face in their fishing experiences in Alaska. So it's really cool. You see a lot of bald eagle. This is also an area that's the beginning of the rainforest.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of wonderful forestry types of excursions, and I think it is important to note that, yes, you can get off the ship and walk around in these different ports of call, but to get outside of the downtown areas really shows what Alaska is all about.
And
And
there's a
if you
lot to choose from, a
there's
lot of.
a lot. And again, your agent at Magic, because they are experts, they will help you plan what's best for you based on your activity levels. Whether you want to go on one of the longest zip lines there are, walk across the rope bridge, which I swear to you, you will never see me on that bridge. You'll see me zip line, but not on the bridge. Maybe see a lumberjack show. They're entertaining, but it's also very cool to watch how they cut through the timber and all the things that they're involved in when they're doing their lumberjacking, um, uh, op, lumberjacking work. And then
Mhm.
Saxman Village, this is a great spot to learn about the totem poles and the history that goes into it, as well as the beauty and the story that each totem pole
Yeah.
actually tells you about. Now, some itineraries do go to a place called Icy Strait Point, this is really almost like Alaska was 20 and 30 years ago. It's an old, again, salmon area, great fishing here. And again, a number of excursions that'll take you into the forest to learn more about Tongass National Forest, which is located adjacent to Ketchikan and Icy Strait Point.
Okay. Now here we are arriving in Juneau, and Juneau is the capital of Alaska. Funny little fact about Juneau is that you cannot drive to Juneau. So to get to Juneau, you either have to fly in or you have to cruise in. And when you cruise in on Princess, you'll be docked right there, right outside of downtown, right at the base of Mount Roberts. That is an optional excursion that you can buy, or you can buy right from Mount Roberts Juneau, and takes you up to the top of Mount Roberts. It's a great view from up there. You'll see, possibly could see lots of bald eagles traveling
Mhm.
up, and get a bird's eye view of the downtown area. There's trails and stuff up there at the top of Mount Roberts, and a neat little visitor center and things like that to do as well. One of the highlights in Juneau is, of course, the Mendenhall Glacier, and that's a different glacier than you're going to see when you're cruising along.
Mhm.
This is right in the city limits, so there's a lot of different ways that you can tour Mendenhall Glacier. You can take a float trip up to the face of the glacier. You can take a helicopter and land on the glacier. Last year when Marcia and I were at Mendenhall Glacier, we actually just went to the visitor center and we just hiked around on the little trails all around. We walked up to the face, got some great photos. There was a huge waterfall coming down on one area. And then just in prowling through the trails by the visitor center, we got to see a mama bear, a mama black bear, and her two bear cubs were feeding. And mama took the two bear cubs up to the top of this huge pine tree and left them up there, just kind of playing and swatting with each other and stuff. And mama then went on down to the creek and started fishing for salmon. And I'm talking, we were just mesmerized just watching that happen right in front of our faces. So you never know what you're going to spot and when you're going to spot it when you're in Alaska.
Exactly. You always have to keep your eyes peeled for what's next. Another highlight in Juneau is a whale watching cruise. And this is great, especially if you're interested in viewing the
Love it.
whales, because they really do guarantee that you will see whales on these cruises. And, you're on a large ship and you can see whales as the ship is sailing throughout Alaska. But when you're on a small ship and you are with actual people who know and understand and narrate on these smaller vessels as you sail in and out of the inlets looking for the glaciers. It really is pretty spectacular stuff.
It's
And again,
amazing.
great
It
spot
is.
to take a lot of pictures. I know this is a great opportunity too to do a glacier hike and actually go to a working mushing camp. This is a really intense kind of excursion. Again, when you're in Alaska, you know what? Do it. You may be the only time you ever go here, so take advantage of some of these things. I've heard of people that go on tours like this, end up falling in love with the puppies and ship a dog home for themselves.
That's one of the most popular tours. That sells out very early.
Yeah,
This
definitely.
is another tour that we get great feedback on. It's a flight seeing excursion out to Taku Glacier Lodge, and they serve homemade food, family style, and fresh salmon baked on the grill. That little bear down there has been known to come along and clean off the grill when the people are done. But again, just a really great tour. Oh,
And then,
well, the
of
best
course, this is,
wildlife. How about
yeah, this
that?
is where the wildlife go in Alaska. Yes, Patty and I have been here a few times ourselves. Yes. And again, great spot just to kind of take a gander, maybe have a cold Alaska amber and enjoy the view. Then your next port of call, and again, this is on every single cruise itinerary, you'll visit Skagway. And this is a really cool place to visit because you do feel like you are back in the history of the gold mining
Mhm.
era, and you'll learn a lot of history about the gold mine. Many of the storefront, the facades really look like you've stepped
Yep,
back into the 1800s. You'll
it
see
does look.
old-fashioned cars. You can walk around the town again and kind of enjoy. You can go in to see some of the call girls, the saloon girls. You can go into the Red Onion. So there's a lot of, unique little adventures you can have while you are in Skagway. But I think this is probably Patty's favorite.
Well, yeah, we get a lot of great feedback from folks that do the White Pass Yukon Rail route. And as you can see, where the Princess Ship docks, this is the old vintage parlor car type of train. Um, and it operates right there from the ship. So you literally walk right off the ship, right onto the train. And there's a variety of different tours that will incorporate this train ride. Highly recommend it. It's beautiful scenery. You're cruising, you're traveling up through breathtaking scenery, maybe some good wildlife spottings,
Mhm.
lots and lots of history from that the gold miners took this White Pass to get to the gold, and it was treacherous. I mean, I definitely know I would not have made a good pioneer, but the things that they went through and the history there is just really, really enlightening, and it's a beautiful scenic trip. So we went up to the Yukon, and then we turned around and came back. There's different tour options. You can get off and take a motor coach back down, see different things, stop at some of the lakes and stuff in the
Mhm.
area. They're breathtaking. But that's a highlight for a lot of people, the White
And
Pass
then
Rail.
on many of the cruises, this is the best spot. This is the best part is Glacier Bay National Park. And it's important to note that on all of our ships we do have naturalists. So you learn a lot about the destination. You're not just looking at how beautiful it is, but you're learning about the destination.
Do
But
a
with
great job
Glacier
with
Bay
it.
National Park, we actually board a park ranger because there are only 2 ships permitted in Glacier Bay National Park per day. So on all of our Voyage of the Glacier or Gulf cruises, as we refer to the northbound, southbounds, we always go to Glacier Bay National Park, as well as on many of the inside passage cruises as well. So it's a long, about 8 hours worth of glacier viewing, and the ship will go in and out of the various inlets, and the captains are just so equipped to know just how to sail in these areas, to slow the ship down so that you can really experience the natural wonder in this particular area.
I mean, this day in Glacier Bay, it leaves you in awe. It really does. And from my experience, when the ship is in Glacier Bay, everybody talks just a little quieter. It's more
Mhm.
hushed, and it's almost imperceptible. But the captain does just very, very slowly rotate the ship around and around again, so that everybody has an opportunity to see all angles of the glaciers, and you feel like you're right there, so close you could almost touch it. It's amazing.
And the water in Glacier Bay is deep. It's very deep, so it allows the ships to get closer to the glaciers. And just standing outside and experiencing the calving of the glaciers and the thunder that they produce, the noise they produce. But as Patty said, you know, the ship turns ever so slowly. So this is a great place to just kind of sit back on your private balcony, and there's not a bad seat in the house because you're going to see everything from the perspective of your balcony because the ship
Absolutely.
turns.
You know, I will add that this is one cruise itinerary that it's really worthy of getting a balcony. Certainly just going on Alaska cruise is the number one thing, right? But if you can afford a little bit more to get a balcony, it could be well worthwhile. And then if you sit on your balcony, you can turn the TV on to hear the narration coming from the park ranger that's on board when you're in Glacier Bay. And that's really kind of neat too.
And you always have to keep your eyes peeled because you'll see some friendly faces along the way, as well as, again, a great spot for whale watching. Now,
Yes.
on our northbound cruises, we do offer a second day of glacier viewing at Prince William Sound. And on our southbound sailings, we also have a second day of glacier viewing at Hubbard Glacier. So again, this is why we call them the Voyage of the Glacier or the Gulf Cruises, because those cruise itineraries do give you 2 different days of glacier viewing. And that's the number one reason why people do go to Alaska. Now, I think what separates Princess and what continues to put us as the top cruise line in Alaska is because of our North to Alaska program. And really what this means for you is while you're on our ships, we're going to help bring Alaska to life. Whether it's the shows that we do and the programs that we offer, Puppies in the Piazza, Libby Riddles, who brings dogs on board and talks about being the first woman to win the Iditarod, our naturalists, the park rangers that come on board. And it's also our partnership with the Discovery Network so that we can offer really unique optional excursions that are Discovery recommended or Animal Planet recommended, and so that you can, again, while you're off the ship, you can experience everything that Alaska has to offer.
I mean, it's really kind of like you're immersed in Alaska. You're engaged, certainly when you're off the ship in Alaska, and the people there, and they're so friendly and really, you know, gracious and welcoming you and wanting to share their history and stuff, but then also on board. So it's like a whole big overall experience about Alaska, which is really super. And
So we're going to
here.
show you Alaska, but Magic is going to help you plan your Alaska vacation.
Can definitely help you plan your Alaska vacation. We love Alaska. We're happy to share our enthusiasm with you as well as our knowledge. We have, you know, great material that we can send out to you, whether it's, you know, the maps of Alaska and the brochures and the pictures of the ports of call and the resorts, the lodges, if you're doing a cruise tour, which we'll talk about in our next session. But again, right now is a fantastic time to be planning for 2021 because we can take advantage of a really great promotion that we've got running right now that brings a terrific value to you, makes your vacation much more inclusive, and that while you're on the cruise, beverages are all included. So all of your unlimited beverages are included. Wi-Fi is included so you can stay in touch. Gratuities, prepaid gratuities for all of your shipboard personnel has been taken care of for you. And that represents about a $700 value for a 7-day cruise per person. And that's for 2 people in a room, even up to 4 people in a room if you're traveling with family. So that's tremendous. The other thing we like to point out is that Princess totally recognizes our military personnel, retired or currently employed service personnel. And when you're traveling with Princess, you just need to let us know that you qualify for this, and you'll get up to $250 extra shipboard credit that you can use on board the ship for the shore excursions, for the spa treatments, for purchases in a gift shop, that kind of thing. So we try to maximize as much as we can for your benefit, and we'll work with you directly to make sure that we're really customizing a trip that meets all of your needs, meets your priorities, and fits into your budget, and will help you every step of the way from beginning to end to returning. So please give us a call. We'd love to help you. We can set up a phone appointment at your convenience. We'll help you with all the details like the flights and the travel insurance and, you know, what do I do now? And what about the shore excursions? And we'll remind you about all of those details. So you can really put it in our hands and we'll help you with the rest. So I look forward to welcoming you to please give us a call. Our phone number is 614-847-5551. And we're here in downtown Worthington. So give us a holler if we can help you at all. And we'll look forward to talking with you. Thanks so much for spending your time with us.
Thank you so much. And we're going to be very happy to welcome you aboard.
Thanks.
Bye.
See you later.